Good morning. I am so happy to be able to come on here again today and speak with everyone. It's been a couple of weeks. As I shared with you in one of my last posts, I am in the throes of moving and doing a lot of things that I feel are really necessary for my life right now. Today I want to talk a little bit about the importance of knowing who you are. For many of us, we fail to know more than our inner circle. Now, there are some of us who do know our grandparents, but how many of us know our great great grandparents or know anything of their lives? For those who are viewing this and who have been able to say, yes, I do know my great grandmother, I do know my great great grandmother, or at least I know their story, I want to say God has blessed you. But for those of us who don't know any more than what was shared with us by our mothers or fathers, there is the desire to understand who we are. And I want to talk a little bit today about why that is so and where does that desire come from. I've had to do a lot of research on my lineage and my family. And the reason for that is I wanted to understand why I do some of the things I do, why I like some of the things I like. Where does the love for Celtic music come from, of all things? My father is an angler. He loves to fish. Until I got with my first husband, I didn't know that I loved to fish. But I do. I love to fish so much that I bought all different types of tackle. Excuse me. I purchased my own ugly stick. I love to fish. But my father was an angler. When we begin to think of the things in our lineage that we don't know, we then begin to tie some of the damage or some of the behavior that we as a people perform. This is a little heavy for me today because I watched some documentaries and my heart was sort of tugged and pulled a couple of different ways, because when I think about what we have experienced here in this country for the last 400 years, it breaks my heart to see that we're making more catastrophic decisions and we are dealing with some really bad choices that we make. But I want to share with you the importance of knowing who you are right now today. We are all bought with a price. Whether or not we accept what was done on Golgotha's mountain, and whether or not we accept the blood that was shed for us that day on that tree, it doesn't remove the fact that we are priceless to someone, so much so that he sent his only son to die for us. So it doesn't matter if you can't find out who you were, who you are, who your family was. If you've attempted and you hit a stone wall and you just can't figure it out, you just don't know this. For Yah so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever shall believe in him and the work that he did on top of that skull-faced shaped mountain, that they would not perish, but that they would have everlasting life. So even if you don't know who you are, walk like you're royalty, not like you're boastful, but walk like you are royalty. Walk like you meant something to somebody sometime, and you owe them the debt of an awesome lifestyle by choice. I have gotten to the place now where I look at others with the eye of compassion, not in the eye of judgment. with the eye of love and not with the eye of condemnation, because I too could be as those that I see. For every woman who's hearing this, that sees a young girl that doesn't know how to take care of herself, that's hollering and yelling at her kids in the grocery store, if you can't approach her, will you do me a favor and just pray for her? For every man who's listening and sees a young man with his pants sagging, with a blunt tucked behind his ear, or with his music exceptionally loud, bopping to a bunch of stuff that nobody understands what they're saying, would you please, if you can't approach him, will you please pray for him? Because the one thing that we do have that know who we are in Yeshua, who we are in Jesus, the one thing we know is the prayer of the righteous man, the effectual, fervent prayers of the righteous availeth much. And maybe God let us see something because he wants us to pray. Probably, right? Probably. So, as we are quickly approaching 2019, swiftly, I want to encourage every one of us to look at those in our community with the eye of love, because love is the one thing that Yahweh says that we can give liberally. We can pour love on people. Now, please don't get love misconstrued as acceptance, because they are two totally different things. And let me tell you why. Acceptance means that what somebody does, I accept it, and that it can be done by me as well. That's acceptance. It means that there are no rules to it. You do what you want to do. Okay, put a pencil there, and let me show you what love is. Sounds like somebody's having a party over there. Love means that in spite of what you do, in spite of your choices, I love you enough to pray. I love you enough to treat you with the kindness that Yahweh tells me to treat you with. Because my heart knows that if it was not for his grace, it could be me. You see? Acceptance means maybe one day I could. Love means I understand. I know how you might feel. I empathize with you. Because his hand is extended to us so that we can extend love to others, so that they can be inevitably drawn to him. And so that eye is not the eye of a judge. And let me tell you, when you can see that an apple tree is an apple tree, it doesn't mean that you're judging that tree. It means you got enough common sense to see that's an apple tree. And the fruit that comes off that apple tree is apples. And it's apples. That's not judging. That's not judging. Judging is you stole the apples off the apple tree. Now, I am going to make you plant a whole entire row of apple trees. That's your crime for what you've done. Not that tree growing apples. So I think it's important that we understand as believers that we do understand the difference. We understand that there are some things that are opposite of what Yahweh says to live by, and there are some things that he says that we should live by. What I'm encouraging everyone today is to understand that a lot of us don't know who we are. And since we don't know who we are, we're going to act like the world. We're going to act like the devil. We're going to act like things that are opposite of what we understand. But it's because we understand, it doesn't mean that they're wrong for living the way that they're living. They live in exactly like their father, the devil, because they don't know about Yahweh. And that's your job. That's my job. To live a life of love, a life of compassion, a life of care and concern, a life that is prayerful for them, standing in the gap, so that just like you, when you crossed over and now you have that knowledge, they can receive the same knowledge. So I'm asking all of us today to show love, show compassion, Show kindness, because if you don't know who you are, you're going to act like what you think you are. If you don't know your lineage, and if you don't know that you were bought with a price, and if you don't know what your forefathers went through once they arrived here on this continent, you will live like the devil. So I thank you guys all for your time. My time is up, and I thank you for yours. And I just want to say that today is the 18th of June, and we're at the halfway mark for this year. I'm excited. I'm so excited for what's going to happen next year and the year after. I don't know what it is exactly, like I said before in former videos, but I just want to tell you all that He is good. Oh, taste and see that Elohim is good. You can just take a piece of fruit off a tree and taste that piece of fruit. He's sweeter than that. He's sweet, I know. I love everyone. You guys have a great day. Please leave your comments below. And if you have not subscribed, please subscribe and share this video with someone that needs to know that they are loved in spite of themselves, because someone loved us enough to send their own child to die on the tree for us. You guys take care. Bye-bye.